it up, Robert?
Oh,
That's why I gave
oh,
it. That's why I gave it to you.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh, we're
I'm doing
live.
it live. We're doing it live,
We're live.
just like that. We're live.
4 minutes
Yep.
early.
No, we're 1 minute early. Oh, my
Negatory.
computer
Mine
is
says
way
3.
off. My phone says
Yeah.
5:57. My computer says 6 o'clock.
I got
Well, we
five.
We're
get
just
4
doing it
extra
early.
minutes of primetime content here. All right.
That's right. At paraglidingtalk.com.
Right.
You're here tonight at the greatest show on Thursday nights. Welcome. Glad you're here. Super stoked that you're here. Paraglidingtalk.com, the place you can come every week. Talk about paragliding and paramotoring and free flight and drama and all kinds of good stuff. We didn't even start the show off, and John Wayne already donated $10 to the super chat. John Wayne, thank you very much. And I also know that last week he came on the show. He didn't even get the show. He still donated $10 to the super chat. That's how good of a guy John Wayne is. John Wayne, thank you for that contribution. Got some great stuff to talk about tonight. We went to the Arizona Flying Circus. Wow. I'm still trying to recover from that. It was absolutely amazing. Very fun. It is the most liberating feeling of freedom. Incredible. But we'll talk all about that tonight. You probably wonder, America, that's right. You might be curious who Brian is. Welcome everyone. This is Brian. Brian is.
Hi everyone. Glad to be on the show. Finally, been watching a long time. It's cool to be on this side of the screen now.
Yeah, Brian, I'm so stoked to have you. So I'm walking around the trailer and messing around, trying to get my crap together so I can go fly. And Brian comes up and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "I feel like I know you. I don't know if you know who I am, but I'm CT Shoot Flyer on YouTube." I'm like, "CT Shoot Flyer, son of a gun!" Got my phone out, took a selfie. Super stoked.
So in case
Yeah.
you
So,
don't see
anyways,
him in the chat, he's right here.
yeah. In case you're wondering, he's right here.
Do I get put in the
So,
wheel still?
Sean, does he make it in the wheel if he's on the show? Of course you do.
I don't really know. Well, I got to be sure that I'm spelling it right.
You also have to say
It's
something in the
CT
CT
chat.
shoot fly, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to make sure I got that right. I'm gonna CHUTE.
Yep.
Right?
Wow, there was a lot of chat before the show.
Yeah, I know.
IER or
There was.
YER?
I know, right?
YER. Yeah. I'm doing the best I can to try to keep up. I just got done waking up just before the show, and I logged in, and we were live like that quick. So,
Oh, good morning.
yeah, thank you.
David Wolf's in the chat. Is Ripman
Yeah.
there? Ripman's in the chat.
Yeah.
Welcome. We got Paramom. We need to change her name to Para Great Grandma.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Great Grandma.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
One-Eyed Willie, welcome. Who else? I'm just checking the chat. Welcome, everyone. If you're in the chat, you should probably say hi. What's up, John? Got John Slow Days. Bill, what's up? Welcome. So we had an incredible time. By the way, real quick, PPG Smoke, go check out their website, buy stuff from them. Paramotorprops.com. Absolutely amazing folks. If you accidentally blow up a prop, it's going to happen. So I watched a couple people ding up their stuff. Gringo's probably going to be calling soon. He put a rock through his prop. So paramotorprops.com is the website. I just want to share personal experience. I bought one of their props because I blew one up in the desert. I was sitting there watching my friends fly around. I got my phone out. I ordered my prop. And literally that same day, within about 2 hours, I had a shipping notification. And it was there in like a day or two. So they're on top of it. I don't know if that was just a once off thing, but I've heard everyone
that's not
say
because you're Paramom's son.
yeah, they didn't even know it was me. The person who packaged it up didn't know until the end. Pretty cool. So anyways, paramotorprops.com, that's the website. Go check out. Harley Milne runs a school here in Southern California. If you're wanting to take your cross-country skills to the next level, you should sign up for some training with him. He's absolutely amazing. We actually need to have him on the show again. He's got some stuff dialed up. He's wanting to do some big cross-country stuff, some adventure stuff, world record type stuff. But if you're wanting to get that training, Harley Milnes School, there's a link in the description, dreamlifterparamotors.com. Absolutely amazing human being. So he's been around the world. He's got all kinds of aviation background. He's a fixed wing pilot as well, and just recently got his check ride, got all of his stuff together. I think he's able to do everything that you want to do. The visual flight rules and instrument rating, I believe. But anyways, we'll talk to him about that. Yeah, super cool. Really stoked about tonight's show. Super Dave, glad you're here. Angela, Tony, Brian, welcome. Glad you guys are logging in. Super, super stoked. Oh, Cowboy PPG, welcome. Glad you guys made it. Everybody's starting to log in now. Welcome. Okay, so tonight I want to just kind of recap the flying circus and just the incredible thing that we have left in America. Our freedoms are constantly under attack, by the way, and you don't realize them. So I don't know if it was Gringo, somebody said it when we were leaving. It's like, man, you don't realize the things that you don't have, the freedoms that you don't have until you get to enjoy them a little bit. And then you go back, and it was like driving back to California was almost like a sentence. It was like, oh, yeah, going back to due time.
Wow, that's
I was
heavy.
scared to just pass through there.
And I hear that a lot of people are, it's like this trap.
The Salton Sea, the fuel's what? It's almost $7 a gallon, six something a gallon. It's a mess out there.
All kinds of regulations it's like the middle of the desert. They literally just gave approval for kayakers to float around in the Dead Sea. Like this made California news. Okay, they said, we have an announcement to make. The California government has decided that it's okay now to use kayaks. They have given permission for human beings to go in kayaks in the Dead Sea tonight at 5. What the heck? Why do we need permission to go in a kayak in the middle of the desert? It's a puddle in the desert. Yeah, anyways, that's my rant. Dear goodness, don't give up your freedoms. Stop doing that. Stop voting away your freedoms. Oh, it's an election year.
We won't make it.
You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that at the AFC. It's a free-for-all out there, that's for sure.
So we show up. I'll just give you my quick take on what happened. As I'm pulling in, Gringo is buzzing the camper. And he did it probably like 5 or 6 times. At one point, my wife screamed and of joy. She was not scared. She wouldn't care if Gringo bug splattered the windshield. She would have laughed. But he was flying around. So I see him flying around. I'm thinking that's probably illegal in California. But it was incredible. We pull in. We got to camp with Gabriel Brown, also known as Black Griffin. And Gabe Brown has an arsenal of weapons to bring
pew
for
toys. Pew toys.
Shooting.
Don't say the G. You can't say the G word here in California. So, without being flagged.
Demonetized. Yeah. So we have this opportunity to camp with them. Got to hang out with them. Super cool. Gringo saved a spot for us. So when I pulled up,
Kowarowski, yep.
Yes, Dan. He had we had been corresponding back and forth about securing a place for like 2 weeks, and we were like, whoever gets there first has to lock it down. And I lagged completely, like the worst lag ever, and I was the last one to show up. But they saved me a spot nevertheless. It was perfect. And I would argue if you can go early, you get really good parking spot. But if you don't, it's not the end of the world, because it's everything surrounding the main airport. And then there's other places, there's other things, other areas where you can set up and launch from. If you can't launch from the main area, there's one in the back. And we said we wanted to talk about something that I thought was probably the biggest safety concern that, because you got airplanes, you got skydivers. At any point in time, you got skydivers diving into the field to land. You've got fireworks that are going off. You've got, I mean, I never saw the dude with the flamethrower, but they did have in the evening, one of the nights they had a flamethrower. You got this big camping area where everybody goes for the big bonfire, the huge stage, a bunch of bands, a bunch of live music, and it wasn't like a small concert. The stage was like something you would see. I was like mainstream, like it was big.
Yeah, it was nice.
Whatever they spent money to put that thing on. I didn't feel at any point in time that my money was not well spent. If I had to guess, just the fireworks alone, probably, I'm guessing, what do you think? They're probably in that 10, 15, $20,000 worth of fireworks.
Yeah,
maybe
you gotta
more.
remember, Mo's been doing that 21 years, so it's growing every year. Obviously, the more and more PPG grows, Mo's all these fly-ins grow. But it was great. It's definitely a must-do at least once, and then you might get a little addicted, and you might want to have to come back again and again.
That's
I'm
what
going
happened to
back
me.
again. Yeah, I'm going back next year for sure. So vacation is locked down already. I already put it on the calendar.
Their stage had 2 towers on the back with dancing fire girls on it, like 20 feet in the air. It was a serious stage.
Yeah, it was crazy. They had okay, so we're talking about the gun range. This was something that I think had the biggest concern. So very organized. Okay, this is not some haphazard, everybody get your guns out, let's go down to the range. No, it was organized. Everything was structured. They had some tannerite, and if you don't know what tannerite is, it's an explosive. It's actually just a mixture of two dissimilar compounds. So it's ammonium nitrate and blended
Aluminum powder.
powdered aluminum. Yeah. And they mix that up, put in a little package, and something the size of like a soda can will put off this explosion, like shake your clothes. Boom, it's really strong. So they start the day off at the gun range. They tell everyone at 11 o'clock, I think, or maybe it was 10 o'clock, whatever time it was. The gun range is now open. And then one of the guys will shoot some tannerite. Boom, and then you're like, oh, gun range is open. And then you hear all the ammo being.
By the way, actually, I thought they set off tannerite at like 6:45 to announce that the day has begun. And
Yeah.
so if you're sleeping in, you're
No.
snoozing in, you bring in the missus that thinks she's glamping, forget about it, because there's explosions going off all day long.
Just
fireworks and booms all night long, all morning long.
A small important note: if you're bringing your dogs,
yeah,
there's explosions all day. They're going to come back with PTSD for sure. So our dog has a tattoo now. Came back.
Put a diaper on the dog.
Yeah, put a diaper on the dog. We did have a couple dogs that escaped that ran from the explosions. But
not only tie up your dogs, but please tie up your children during the gun range hours.
Okay, so this is what I wanted to talk about. We had already shot the tannerite. Boom, there's a big explosion. We're there. A couple of guys had already began to burn ammo. And we look in the backdrop and someone goes, oh my gosh, there's kids back there. And at the end of the targets up on the mountainside is a couple of kids. And literally, so they had already hiked over the backside and they were coming up over this side and no one had told. So I think, if somebody can get a hold of Mo on this, there needs to be some kind of a marker or some kind of caution tape around that area.
Yeah, look, I think they need more fences or more red signs or something that posted every 20 feet because that's something that we can't just, that's not like, hey, don't throw the recycles in the regular trash can. We're talking about, human lives here. So that was really scary, man.
That was the only place, that was the only time during the flying circus that I was nervous other than chasing the money. And we'll talk about that later. There was only two
there was
times I
another
was scared.
nervous time too. Obviously, the coordination and different aviation equipment going on because it's a live runway, and your head better be
Yes.
on a swivel.
Now,
And
for
There is a
me,
schedule
and
for
in
it.
the air.
yep, there is a schedule. That's true. Brian, go ahead.
So they did have a schedule. They were trying to keep the ultralights separate from the airplanes and the parachutists, but sometimes the planes would just launch out, and when it was time for them to go, they kind of just go. And I did see
Yeah.
one parachute guy land, and his chute overflew into the runway as a plane was taking off, and the walkway marshal literally grabbed the guy and had to drag him backwards. But there was a couple seconds still where he wasn't actually going to get hit, but it was not the parachute guy did not know a plane was taking off right then.
Oh,
Listen, it's a circus. Like any circus, anything can happen.
Yeah.
A rampage elephant, like something crazy going off into the, yeah, you gotta pay attention. But
I'll tell you what was shocking for me was the nonstop fireworks. It was 24 hours of fireworks. I mean, you obviously during the day there wasn't a whole lot of, but still the sun was still kind of poking out, and all of a sudden he'd be like, boom, bang,
during the day,
midnight. I'm in the bed, I'm sleeping. Shoot, boom. Every once in a while, just a random firework would just shake the windows. We're looking around, and I think it was Saturday morning, and they have a tornado warning system, and it is a
which is
massive.
great for the neighbors,
Yeah. This thing is on a swivel,
drill
and
siren.
it's turning, and it's going.
It was a real siren.
I mean, it is so loud, like ear piercing loud, and it's far away.
It's like
It
the
was
boy
far
that
from
cried
us.
wolf. It's
like
like
a
when the real one comes,
bomb
they're gonna
shelter
go,
siren
"Hey,
from the
guys,
Cold War.
no."
It was insane,
Mhm.
so loud. And the way that they ran it, they fired it up with a 15 horse riding lawnmower, and they strung the belt from the lawnmower over to the thing. It was incredible. The freedom, of like I said, there was a lot of things that were dangerous, but it was controlled danger. Like you were talking about the runway. At one point, I was like, I see the flaggers, and you hear them kind of getting on radio. Okay, where's this guy's gonna launch? Okay, he's launching, and then you see him start to look around, like start to shake the people off the runway, and I'm talking like 50 or 60 people crossing the runway, and there's an airplane taxiing, and then everybody just kind of gets out of the way, and it's right there. I mean, literally, wing is like 5-10 feet away from you. And I mean, it was all controlled, but I loved the fact that it was like, look, everybody's on the same page. We're all excited about aviation, and just the sheer, it was just freedom, little tiny piece of freedom on the planet. And I said this at one point to somebody. I said, this is the coolest place to be probably on the planet right now. This week, this is the coolest place. I wouldn't want, can't, you're in France and you're looking at the Eiffel Tower. Oh, this was amazing. I would have rather, so many people would say, well, I'd rather be in Europe. I think the only thing cooler would be like maybe flying the Alps with my paraglider, but flying circus was right there. Oh man, it was amazing. So yeah, you wake up in the morning. Friday morning was, I felt like everyone was there, but not even half of the people were actually there. So Friday morning, I'm like, wow, this place is packed. I think everyone wanted to show up Saturday at 3 for the money. So if you didn't hear about it, you're gonna hear about it now. They had $50,000 that they said they were going to drop from an airplane.
Doll hairs.
Yeah, doll hairs. And so they start off with $400 in ones. And as they fly by the first time, they're testing the wind. So the person kind of hangs out the window and you see the money, and then you see people like, and I have a great video. I'll dial up the video and share it. I'm not gonna do it now. I don't think I have enough bandwidth to make it happen. But everyone runs, they're catching dollars. My kids are out there. Some people have nets. Some people are running around like this is, this money is going to be the ticket to their freedom to escape from Vietnam. Like,
I wanted to believe it was real too. Like, I had an idea that it might be fake, but like, what if you're wrong and you let all that money fly by and you're just standing watching everybody else grab it? So you gotta, because they did
participate.
At previous AFCs they dropped 5,000 one year, I think 2,000 another year. So this wasn't a one-off thing. This is something that was built up with real money. So that's why we all got duped. Most all of us got duped.
So it turns out in the end, it's this Amazon phony money, and it says copy on it. And it's like, it looks almost real. But I'll tell you the difference. When I saw the $1 bills floating down, and I'm filming and I'm holding my hand out, and I didn't move. I just stood there, and $1 came right to me. And actually two $100 bills came to me. But as everyone is running around and they're fighting over each other and they're getting, all of a sudden I reach down and I pick up that $100 bill and I look at it, and it was like slow motion. I'm like, it's fake. It's fake. I start yelling it. I'm like, no way. And everyone, like in slow motions, is starting to, like, the dust is settling and everyone's looking like, it's fake. Their dreams are dashed. Kids
Robert had the voice going on in the back of his head.
To pay rent,
was like,
but
I thought there was one guy there. It looked like he was selling fishing nets or something. He probably made out the best out of everybody.
Yeah. The guys selling nets. Oh my god.
They didn't even work. It looked like they were just blowing the money away when they were swatting them around.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Who just dialed that up?
No. Sorry. Just
who just did that?
Just a little taste. Just a little taste. Just
a little teaser.
Just a little taste. Move along. Keep going. Move along.
Hey, is Ferret 0007? Is that your homie that was with you, Brian?
No, I'm not sure who that
I
was.
asked who it was.
Okay.
He met you or us or somebody, so I don't recognize the handle, I guess.
Barrett, I need you to help me to know who you are.
I mean, I've met a lot of people.
Yeah, I
met a lot of people. It could have been him, but I'm not sure.
I was actually pleasantly surprised at how many people I got to meet for the first time, new people.
Oh, and that's the amazing thing. I mean, I remember meeting, Brian, CT Shoot Flyer. I do remember us hanging out. I met so many people in one day that it's really hard to remember everybody, because it's just like, oh, I know that guy. I know that guy. Oh, I know that guy too. Oh, I know that guy. And I know that guy. And I know that guy. But then remembering all their names, I've recognized the face, but to remember the real names as opposed to their online screen name, it's kind of a struggle. It's like, man, I really know a lot of people,
Oh, Crazy Uncle Bob's in the chat. Crazy Uncle Bob, I got stranded at a truck stop. I was thinking about you the whole time. I was stuck at a truck stop for more than 24 hours. It was a Love's. I lived on Love's food. It was horrible. Felt like a prison sentence. Stuck in the RV. So yeah, man, it was insane. People, what I thought there was a whole bunch of unusual, unique things that happened during the money drop that showed me people's characters. One lady, and I'll save who, but one lady shoved my wife from the back to get to some money. And My wife turned around, realized who it was. She knew who she was. It was like, oh my gosh, that happened. Uh, People diving over each other. I was running psyops before, for like an hour before I was telling everyone that the drop was at 3:30, and when the drop was actually at 3. So I was working that angle. Giving out I was giving out fake news, telling people like, yeah, it's Sunday. They're gonna do the drop on Sunday. And then just before the drop, I was telling everyone, yeah, he's not coming back. When the plane left, I was like, yeah, that's it. He's gone. He ain't coming back. Uh, but it was funny the intensity when the money was when the dollars went by, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm ready. That was a warm up. And then the dollars went by again, and it was like, okay, now we're good. And then you heard Mo say, okay, we're gonna do the big one. And everybody's like,
They got
I
out
mean,
their fishing nets.
yeah, dude, it was insane. Kids are crying. Wait until you see my video.
Elbows.
I had the GoPro going. Guys were fighting. Guy got punched in the face. Did you guys hear about this?
I did. I saw a small kid get knocked over and stepped on the first drop.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's getting stepped on.
he was
Kid in the
screaming
stroller.
down a little bit.
For $1.
Yeah. Kid in the stroller falls on his face.
Now, generally, just to make this clear so that way everybody understands if they've never been there, the people that are, trying to gather the money at the money drop, they're not competitive to the point where they're hurting each other or being rude or abusive towards each other. I want to make sure that I make that very clear because, sometimes it's easy to get wrapped up in some of the chaos and calamity that goes on, but there's really not that much chaos and calamity. It's just a little incident here or there. You get groups of people in anything, you're going to have an issue here or there, but it's not anything that is like a repetitious kind of pattern. Correct, Robert?
It sounds like the Beanie Baby craze where people are just like storming the stores to get whatever, and sounds crazy. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I want to make sure to clarify so everybody understands.
Temporary madness.
It was controlled
Yes.
chaos. It was good. For the most part, it was pretty good. But
the idea that you're going to pay your way. All I was trying to do was catch 2. I was like, if I can just get $200, I paid my way. Gringo was like, why don't he just give the 50,000 to the people? Split it all up to everyone. And I was like, see, that's where communism started right there, Gringo.
That's how you know he's from California.
Yeah.
So, right.
I confess, I grew up as a socialist.
The gun range was very organized. The guys who ran the gun range, the husband and wife, and I apologize, I can't remember your names, but you guys were awesome. Thank you for handling that. That's the Barrett. That is a 50 cal. I sent an invite to Gabriel, but I don't know. It was last minute. I didn't ask him to come on the show. But yeah, look at this. Got to shoot a Barrett. Then I get to shoot a rocket launcher. It was insane.
What I'm really impressed by is the trigger discipline. I appreciate that, Robert. Thank you.
Oh, you like that? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, you really. Dave, there's Robert's kids.
Did anything stand out with the boys about their gun handling? And
I thought they did well. I thought it was a great experience for them, and they were very mature about it, and I thought that was pretty cool, man. I really appreciated you putting your kids there. I mean, it's
So I'm asking you because you're really into gun safety, gun control, not gun control, but controlling the gun.
Whoa.
Yeah. Controlling the gun. Yeah, look at this, crazy.
Anthony's very anti-gun.
Yeah.
Right.
I got in one day, I got to shoot the most extravagant guns known to mankind that I know of. Everything from the most unique, smallest to heritage. I got to shoot a Nazi war pistol.
Yeah, buddy.
It was insane. I can't tell you that information, but it was amazing. The
Yeah.
gun actually on the handle has a swastika on it, and it's real. It's a real, yeah.
So that's history right there.
Yep.
That's not propaganda. That's not supporting any party. That's our American history with the world history, really. But
Yep.
I think that's important. Nothing wrong with that. So
Luger. And at one point in my life, I did own a Luger, not a Ruger, but a Luger. And because there's both, and you can get them confused, and one is cheap and one is not. This ammo, by the way, I know this is a paragliding talk show, but
yeah,
gosh, this was
it's
amazing.
now America's show. I like that.
50 caliber is really strong in the shoulder, and that gun is dialed up to like
Dude,
combat the
I'm
recoil.
still bruised.
I'm still
actually
bruised too. I'm still
I'm
sore.
bruised from this thing right here.
The
This
rocket
thing
launcher.
is it's a lot of that thing right there. Let's see. Hold on.
Yep, the rocket launcher jacked
Yeah,
me
see
up.
this little butt right there, that little underneath Robert's chin. It could be a little longer and just a little more supportive on the shoulder, but yeah, that
Just
was
a little
fun.
bit.
They helped me dispose of one of my rocket motors that I couldn't travel back with. And I brought it to the gun range. I was like, hey, can you guys help me get rid of this? Maybe shoot it or something. They're like, yeah, hang on. They strapped 4 pounds of tannerite and a bottle of gasoline to it and just blew it to smithereens. It just disappeared.
When we come back, when we let's do the spinny. Then when we come back, we got to talk about Brian's little
Yeah,
rocket.
let's
We're
do
gonna
it.
call him Rocket Man. Let's just put it that way.
Rocket Man.
And I'll
Yeah.
cue
Well,
it.
we also got a comment in the chat from Ferret saying you missed the tree lighting. It was awesome.
Yeah, I did. My neighbor's got a big old fire. I just want to make sure it's not their house.
They
Are you
happen to
spying
look
on the
over at the
neighbors,
same time
Robert?
and see Robert with his binoculars out through the window.
Are you spying on
That's
the
not
neighbors?
creeper at all. You
Yeah,
know,
Very
just looking for the
unusual
fire.
place to have a fire.
While he's on the internet,
That's an
he's like
unusual place to
streaming
have
his peeping.
binoculars.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
he's peeping his Tom.
Yeah, it's controlled. They're doing some construction over there. Yeah, let's
Halfway
spin the
point.
wheel.
You
So,
know, yeah.
yeah, the spin of this wheel is going to be brought to you by Calamity Kite Clinic. Sean has a ground handling clinic that he puts on when he goes to the fly-ins, different places. And I would argue it is the single best place to go and get ground handling training, exclusively ground handling. He's not going to try to teach you to launch. He's not going to try to teach you how to be a better thermal pilot or how to cross the Alps. He's just going to teach you the fundamentals on the ground so that you're going to be excellent when it's time to launch. You will not be disappointed because now you're able to fly when other people will be not wanting to fly because they don't have enough control over their wing. CalamityKiteClinic.com is the website. Go sign up with him, and you'll not be disappointed.
Now I gotta change up on the wheel this time because
Yeah,
you missed last week's show. I was in the
yeah,
chat the entire time of the show
yeah,
and beyond
yeah,
what the show would have ran because the chat was still going for hours.
yeah. You're right.
So, just kind of giving you a heads up. So that was our way to give back to those folks that are loyal to the show and checking out and listening and watching, like
Yeah,
Brian, CT Shoot Flyer.
yeah.
Just throwing that name out there. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus or anything, buddy. But I decided to take those names that I added for last week's show and left them in the wheel. And then took the
Nice.
people on this week's show and added it to the wheel. So that way, if you were in here
Oh,
last week and you're in here this week, you have double the chances of being able to win something cool. So without further ado, here we go. You ready, Robert?
I am.
There
I
we
was
go.
just trolling the chat right now. This spin of this wheel is also brought to you by Josh Bowden and Nebraska PPG. You want to get some training in Nebraska? Incredible school. Josh Bowden, by the way, is also, it's not just about his school or what he's, trying to get students or whatever. His deal is actually much deeper. He's very passionate about the type of gear that you're going to get, the right gear. He literally knows before you even know what you're gonna want to buy. He's already gonna be able to tell what type of person you are and what you're gonna need. Josh Bones, he's got a great school and just a great head on his shoulders for the sport, and just knows who to call. If he doesn't have the answer, he knows who to call. That's what's the best thing about him.
Crazy Uncle Bob.
Nice. Crazy Uncle Bob, congratulations. Winner chicken dinner. You're going to get a prize package. I'm going to send you out something. What I need you to do, Crazy Uncle Bob, is send me an email. That email is going to be through the website, paraglidingtalk.com. Put the /contact and then fill out the contact form. And make sure in there you put your shirt size. But there's going to be other stuff in there. So please do that. Fill that out. Thank you so much for watching the show. And everybody else who's in there. Thank you. So I'm loading up my trailer and I'm messing around. By the way, first thing I did was break my motor. Literally, first 10 seconds. I start my pull starter doesn't fully really retract. I kind of have to do this number and then it goes back and then okay, now I'm good. But it didn't really pull in very good. It felt like kind of like it was loose. And so basically had I just pulled it, I mean, with just the slightest amount of pressure, it would have came out, and I didn't realize that. And so I jiggle it back in. Okay, now we're good. And I take off running, and that handle goes do, 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 and then it goes right through the prop. And I'm like 20 feet in the air. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just chopped something up, and I don't know what it is. And I'm like, well, I got the throttle in my hand and that's still working. And I'm like, I better just kill this thing so that something's not winding up. It could be a line. I don't know what it is. Could be a strap. Could be my reserve. I don't know what the heck just went through the prop. And so I kill the motor and I float back down. And I'm like, no way. What the heck just happened? So I look, my throttle's all gone. I have this guy, whoever you are, thank you. They were paying attention. They saw my handle go, and he ran out there and grabbed my handle, and he comes walking up, and sure enough, so he had experienced that. Craziest thing happened. So I put my stuff away. Right about this time, Brian comes walking up, says, "What's up?" And we take a selfie together, and we're talking about Paragliding Talk. And Brian's been a part of the show from way back. We've been doing the show for 6 years. This is episode 296. So imagine that. So it's like, or 5 years, right? Episode 296. So I'm putting my stuff away and I'm defeated, man. In my mind, this is game over. We're out in the middle of the desert. Where am I going to get a pull starter? And it's got to be my pull starter. Like I'm keeping my face, but I'm like bummed to the max. Now, the good news is somebody else has a motor that I can use. So I talked to Casey. Casey's like, yeah, you can use my motor. He has an extra one. So cool. I'll use that if I need to. And I went and kind of dry fit it and put it on, and it just didn't feel good. And I'm like, man, I want my motor. I want my stuff. And now I'm kind of bummed, put my gear on the table. And as I start to kind of ask around a little bit, I try to reach out to Mike Cotter, and because he had came all the way from Michigan. And I actually went up to his trailer. He stayed inside, never answered the door. I texted him, hey, I'm outside your trailer. Didn't answer the text. And I talked to his buddy that was there, and he actually went inside to talk to him. And he said he was deep asleep. I guess he had an abscess tooth, and never got back to me. So I'm a little bit worried about him. Hopefully he's okay, but I never saw him the entire time. I go back to the camp, and it just so happens that Dan has one, my exact pull starter. So we strike a deal. I told him, bro, you could probably sell this for $500 right now. What do you want for this thing? And so we struck a deal. I think I paid $100 for it, and he gave me the pull starter. And Gringo and I brought tools. I knew there was a good chance I was going to need some kind of tools, and we did. I actually had power tools to make it happen. and Gringo helped me. Gringo had figured out that the mistake that I made, and this is the lesson for the show. So in case you're wanting to learn about pull starters, Gringo is the expert on pull starters for Vitarazi. And I didn't take
Expensive
seriously.
lessons.
Yes.
Expensive lessons.
I didn't listen to him. And he told me, he was like, bring it to me and I will make sure it goes back together properly. And I was like, I'm a man. That's like stop and ask for directions. I'll figure it out. But I did it wrong. There's a 50-50 chance you could do it right. And I did it wrong. And so it cost me through the prop. And I'm so grateful for Dan having that thing. But I can't really describe how it went wrong other than it's the little feet that are inside that
Pause.
when you, paws, that's what they're called. That when you pull the string, the paws go out and engage so that you're turning the motor. And when you let it go, they come back in. So what I did wrong was only one of them was going out, the other one was staying in, or
No, that little
sometimes they would
clip,
go out.
that little squiggly clip that
Yeah.
goes on the pause and hooks into the center. He just had it flipped over backwards. It has to. There's one way it has to go, and I showed him on the other thing, and I just reversed it. And when you pull it, they fling out. If they don't fling out when you are putting it all back together, you have it backwards. So that's it. That's all it was.
Rob,
Yeah.
you weren't the only
So-
one that had a part go through the prop. I was sitting in a lawn chair watching the chaos. I usually fly real early at sunrise, and then bust out a lawn chair and land, watch the chaos. Some guy was launching, and they got about 50 feet off the ground, and something smacked his prop and just came cascading down. And it was an airbox, a whole airbox whacked through his prop and just came flying down.
Oh no.
It almost
What
hit my
kind of
flying
motor?
buddy, landed right in front of him.
Oh no.
It might have been an Atom 80. It was like a rounder airbox. It wasn't a standard Vitarazi airbox.
Darn it. There's got to be some way to mitigate that because I've heard this multiple times, people losing their airbox.
The new ones have a Velcro strap on them that kind of keeps them in
Mine
check
does,
a little bit.
yeah.
That helps.
Velcro or zip ties? Yeah.
Velcro.
Whatever it takes.
If you're in the state of Texas, Lone Star Paramotor, LoneStarParamotor.com is the website. Ron Turan, he has a school there that you can get some really good training. Go check out their website, Lone Star Paramotor. Also, MaxAcro.com. Max Acro is the place we're going to get an SIV clinic here in Southern California. Sign up for his clinic and you'll not be disappointed. It's a great thing to get an SIV clinic under your belt, whether you're a paramotor guy or you're a free fly guy.
He's also a really good gambler. So if you have any,
Yeah.
put some money down, just
Yeah. Resurgence PPG, I also want to mention those. I've done it a couple times where I get through the show and I push it till the last second, but I'll just take care of it now. ResurgencePPG.com is the website. They are a 501c3. They support our men and women of uniform, and they are a group that is taking these guys that are dealing with PTSD and putting them in a place where they can have something to focus on, have something different in life. These guys come back from the battlefield. They're dealing with PTSD. Sometimes it's adaptive recovery stuff, missing limbs, or maybe just being injured from battle. But these guys have a whole new outlook on life once they take up paragliding and paramotoring, and so it's a great organization. Resurgence people. So if you can make a donation, it is a tax deductible donation, and when you do that, when you put some money towards them, you're helping out some guys. And you're making a family stronger. And that's really what Resurgence PPG is. They're a family. So if you can support them, That'd be awesome. A couple questions from the chat, and I know we got some other things that we're going to talk about. David Wolf, question from the chat. Who will be filming Harley's next big adventure, and will we ever see that video? Good question. That'll be for probably the next show or the show after that. We'll have Harley on and talk about that stuff. Angela, question for Robert. You were at the firing range. Were you shooting a bazooka? Looked like a different kind of gun. Yes, that was a bazooka. We'll call it a rocket launcher.
Actually, I asked Gabe what it was. It's an AT-4 rocket. AT-4 rocket.
So it's an AT-4 rocket launcher. That's what that is.
Rocket launcher, sorry.
Pretty simple little setup. He showed me how it's built, and I mean, it's not complicated. So you should, you know, if you're feeling feisty, you can make your own.
Everybody should have one.
I think you should make, yeah, you should have your own. Everyone should have one. Yeah. So, mom asked, how many times did my name come up? A lot. Any person that I met that, hey, yeah, I'm so and so from I love watching your channel, and your
Where's
mom
mom?
follows me on Facebook. Yeah, I think they know you better than they know me. They're like, yeah, I know your mom. I'm like, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Okay, I'm gonna go flying now. And then your mom jokes, you know?
As
My
Robert
mom,
takes his pulse starter through his propeller. Here's, you can do it, Robert.
yeah, see, this is now you're just harassing me. This is harassment. Sean Napsker harassing me.
Come on, Robert, you got this.
That's my son. Oh man. Crazy Uncle Bobby said they used to be my Amazon Smile charity. Yeah, they stopped that, didn't they?
They
They shut
did.
it, they shut it down. Those greedy suckers. Couldn't take 30 cents away. Gotta want someone else gonna have to get that. I'm gonna make sure every penny. I'm just gonna go to my rocket. Yeah. Paraglidingtalk.com. We um we got a good flight in. Me and Gringo kind of stuck together. Uh I'll say this, I'm not sure how to get more organized. I think next year I'm going to try to like rally a crew so that we can take a crew and go somewhere. But for the most part, it was just me and Gringo. And then we'd go and find random people. And it was the coolest thing to just randomly fly like 3 or 4 miles away. And all of a sudden you just see somebody playing
Yeah.
around,
Yeah.
flying by themselves, just chasing cactus. And I, it was the coolest thing. You'd be flying along and I'd be way out there thinking, there's nobody out here. And they'd be like, oh, there's someone. And I would just and go fly over towards them.
There's always someone. It doesn't matter what direction you go. There's always somebody. You're
It
just
was so
like, I
cool.
didn't see you there. What are you
Yeah.
doing down there? You know, like, yeah.
Sometimes you even come across a big pile of brown beer bottles.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
You'll see that in my video.
Yeah.
Huge. It was like, if I had to guess, it was probably 10,000 bottles. What do you think? More?
Yeah, they look like a Kawamas. They're the big bombs, the big bottle,
Now,
Do you
I'm
think
just
they were
gonna
the big
say,
ones?
you got Scotty's eyebrows raising up. He's thinking recycling glass. I could 10,000
did
bottles.
say
I could
that.
take some.
Robert wanted to return with his AR and do some
That's what I was thinking. In California, it's like 10 or 15 cents per bottle,
Yeah, I
Gotta pay
know.
for gas.
I don't know what'd be
So
more valuable to go land there, like Gringo said. I wanted to go pick up my son, take a tandem. He was going to bring the AR. We are going to fly over there and shoot him. But also at the same time, I was worried about that whole thing that happened with Israel and the
Hamas.
fighters coming, Hamas landing in.
Yeah, that was,
So
They
it was
ruined a
it was
good time for everybody. They
yeah,
ruined a good time for everybody doing that.
they did. It's always a little nerve-wracking when you come and buzz people's camps that you don't know. We did do that. We did troll someone's camp that was way across the 8 freeway, far away. It was like 5 or 6 different people camping. I would think if I was camping, I'd be excited if somebody flew their little ultralight over me. It was like their own personal little show. So that's how I feel when I'm going to fly around someone. But maybe they don't feel that way. I don't know. I'm starting to think that more people are like not super stoked about.
Have I had my coffee yet?
No, this guy wouldn't have had his coffee yet. Yeah,
If I
we
hadn't had my
probably
coffee yet, probably not a good time.
we probably woke him up. We probably woke him up. Yeah. So that was cool. The other thing that I thought was unique was when it was time to launch, uh, there was like this just a good camaraderie with the people. So you're launching, there's airplanes that can be taking off, but when I went to set up, everybody's kind of looking out for each other. Everybody's, you can see everybody's eyes are watching out for safety. So it wasn't like just haphazard. It was very, it was like a structure. Being in the air was cool. You really do need to have your head on a swivel. That is one thing. Now, I'm used to flying with people, so it didn't bother me at all. Gringo came by and he gave me a high five with the wing, and we flew on, and we're in the middle of the desert. Had it gone wrong, it would have been really bad. But I'm cool with flying next to people. I'm cool with it. But if you're not, if and the reason why I think I'm cool with it is because I fly usually in gaggles as it is with free flying. But I did have some apprehension because I'm thinking none of these guys that I know are free flight pilots or are pilots that are used to flying gaggle, or we're not making a decision on what road, what direction we're going to turn.
Right. That's right.
We don't know what to do if we fly directly at each other other than go to the right, like you do with cars. If you're going to head on, you go to the right. That's your rule. But then also, uh, I at one point I was like, I'm gonna do some maneuvers and do some stuff to go down. Like I want to burn a bunch of altitude because it was just I was just having fun. And at one point I started to go into my turn and I looked, you need to look, lean, then turn. And I did my look and there was like five people underneath me.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, what the heck? I had no clue that there was five people underneath me, but it wasn't until I looked like straight down. That was cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
there was one thing I did notice when you're in the air. Obviously, at every flying, everybody's always, most people are always saying, "Hey, get up, get out. Don't need to do your, look at me kind of routines around the LZ." But there was actually a direct. I don't know if you noticed counterclockwise rotation
yeah,
established over around the LZ around the airport.
yeah,
So
I did catch that.
yeah, for the most part.
Huh?
There'll be a couple stragglers that aren't quite used to the aeronautical world, or
They just didn't care.
flying,
They're like, yeah, freedom.
what they're supposed to do, what common
I'm
sense
just gonna,
is saying, I guess.
I'm just flying wherever I want.
Right,
Free,
right,
free
right.
flying.
Especially on approach, if you're trying to
Yeah.
come in and land, there were definitely moments and times when it was no wind. So
Hmm.
there's no moving on either windsock. Sometimes windsocks will be saying that way, some windsocks will say that way. Um, a little higher up, you'll get some air, and then there are other times it wasn't really gusty, so it was really nice. Actually, you could fly. Um, Even though I think our flying time was 6:45 to 9:45 in the morning, kind of got extended a little bit. They released the private planes to go up. I don't know if you're gonna talk about it on the show about your boy going up. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. I took
Fox.
my son on a tandem. That was cool. Big, it's like a 40-meter Mac Para. Um,
Yeah.
I think they call it a school bus. I don't know. I don't know what the name is. It's gigantic. And we did a foot launch tandem, which is not exactly my cup of tea, especially with a forward launch.
Yeah.
I had Gringo help me, and the first set, I'm like, I got everything dialed. I got everybody's watching. I'm stoked. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna fly. And the very first thing I do is fumble the ball and trip over my feet and his feet. And Gringo's trying to help me, so he's pulling. And so all simultaneously, this is all happening, and I'm trying to hit the gas, and we just fall on the ground. Nothing's broken, no
Yeah.
lines damaged, nothing like that. I killed it right away. But it's not easy launching. It's you know t- to take
The
somebody
second
up.
one went the second one went smoothly, flawless.
Yeah,
The wing came up perfectly. It's a big wing, and your boy and you guys lined it up perfectly. It was a great launch. And probably 1 to 2 mile an hour wind, it was perfect, I think.
yeah.
And obviously when you do tandem, you pray or hope for a little bit more wind, but Robert handled it well.
Mm.
Shout out to Logan with the Kit Fox from
Yes.
Arizona, right? So
Yeah, tell them about that, Gringo. That was awesome.
yeah, it was nice. A guy I met during one of the concert nights and whatever, and he came in. He flies. He's from San Diego and he lives out in Arizona, Tucson or something. And he flies for the Air Force, and he's a rescue and helicopter. So they actually get called out for coast. So even on the coast, Coast Guard,
I
when the
thought he
Coast
was
Guard can only
Navy.
go so far, they go out further. So it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. But he's single and free, and so he spends his money on his aviation. So he built himself a nice kit box and was able to take up Robert's younger son and a couple other people and stuff. But that was pretty cool. There's some video of that.
So I couldn't take my smaller son. So my mom asked who was it? It was Brighton went, but the my younger son's legs are a little too short, I think, for a no wind. But if I had a little wind, no problem, I would have took him up. But it just wasn't working out. And I can, he wants to go up so bad, and so I mean, we're constantly talking the whole time, like, yeah, we're gonna go. Don't worry, buddy. We'll give it a shot. As long as there's a little wind, you'll be able to go. And it just wasn't working out.
If you
And
don't have
so
enough,
after,
if you don't have enough wind sometime, I can hook you up with some JADOs for the motor. You don't need wind with enough rockets hooked to your
yeah,
motor for a launch.
that's right. So,
Speaking of rocket,
yeah, dial up that video. So I see Logan pass by, and I'm like, "Hey, are you taking people up?" And he goes, "Yeah, I told there's like 4 or 5 people that wanted to go up, and I just told him, hey, if you want to do it, just be around my plane." Well, sure enough, he was walking by, and I said, "Hey, do you think you could take my son up? I can't take him on a tandem, but it'd be cool." So he got to go on the Kit Fox. Super cool. I got a good video. We'll post that. So Braden
all
he was
right.
living life.
So who's this guy right
That's Mo.
here? That's Mo?
Yeah.
Oh, you put it on Mo's. I thought Brian.
Oh no, now I'm seeing it. I'm hearing the noise, but the video was
Oh, sorry. Hold
so
on.
loud.
There, how about
That's a
that?
that's a good
Yeah.
angle.
So talk a little bit about this, Brian. So Mo asked everyone the last few years, like, do something unique.
Sorry, go ahead.
Bring something unique to the show, to the circus. It's a circus. And
So
so
that's
Brian
something
put
that
together this.
so that's what I got from the circus is Mo says the first year it's so crazy, just come and experience it and soak it all in and see what it's about. And everything that happens, all the crazy stuff that happens, it's all somebody that brought it and did it themselves. Like nothing's really paid for aside from the band, but like when crazy stuff goes on, it's because somebody picked out something to do it. And what I took from the flying circus was there's explosions, fire, smoke, noise, and all that stuff is awesome. There's nothing not cool about any of that. And paramotoring is awesome too. So I was like, if I can get fire, smoke, and noise coming out of my paramotor, that pretty much belongs at the circus. It needs to be there. So I came up with a project to assemble a couple of rockets on the back of my paramotor and fire them off electronically. And these do burn pretty quick. So I set up a rack with 4 of them and I had a switch system to hit them off individually. And it was like the trial run. So this is the first time I did it in flight was at the circus. So I think it's a cool stunt. It's like a little shtick. It's just like a show at the circus. So I want to be part of the show. I've been there 5 or 6 times now. Had a great time every
Wow.
time, and I wanted to bring some fun to for other people. Just add to the chaos.
So
So
Brian is practicing this. Okay. Now I'm there for the first day, and I'm already like, there's a little bit of PTSD from me leaving the flying circus, but getting there, it's like, it's shocking. It's like, oh my gosh, there's just so much stuff going on. Well, I'm setting up. I got my wing laid out, and I'm getting ready to launch, and I'm still just kind of checking everything, doing a once over, and he flies by and hits the button. And it was so loud that even with my hearing protection, it still caught my attention. Like, what in the world was that? Like, I'm, kind of, dealing with I'm trying to listen to my motor on my back and all the different dynamics. But anyways, he flew right over. He flew right over me. This was on Saturday, or maybe it was on Friday night.
Yeah, that one was Saturday. So that was the first hit when I was down low, and then I had
Yeah.
one misfire. One didn't light off, and then I got two more right after that. So I think you have those videos on the Google that I
Yes.
sent you.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna throw those together into the video that I'm
yeah,
gonna post, the regular video. I'll probably break it up into two because there's a lot going on.
but there's
But
a
yeah,
fair amount of thrust out of those things. It actually gives you some lift.
yeah,
And it's so smooth and there's no torque or anything. It's kind of addicting. You kind of want more. Like I hit that thing and I'm like, that was really nice. There was a lot of haters online, a lot of nannies that were like, one guy called me Paranapalm, and somebody's like the fuel tank, it'll be the fifth rocket. Some real good ones. Everybody
yeah,
everybody that commented pretty well meaning, but they
yeah,
brought up some precaution stuff I should take, and like they were like, you're gonna unload your wing and like do a real rocket loop, and it wasn't like that at all. I think because it's just a rocket and it's not like
yeah,
a spinning propeller, it just added to the thrust, and
yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Two
So
two
so
seconds.
my plan for next year is to beef it up with bigger, longer burning rockets and a single button press with electronic firing, so that it all goes off timed. Because fumbling
It's
for those
fun.
switches while you're
Yeah,
flying with rockets going off, it was a handful.
yeah. So he actually tested this. There's a video. He's testing it. He's hanging from a forklift with the motor on his back, and he tests it, and the thing launches him right into the forklift. He has to put his feet out to stop, and there's enough thrust that it's like, and he cracks his feet into the thing. So I'd be interested to they have a thrust tester. They brought a couple different times to Salton Sea. So someone typically will have the thrust tester. It'd be worth playing around with that and seeing how much thrust you get from one rocket.
It should be about 30 pounds, 30 pounds for 2 seconds for each
Wow,
motor. If you just do one at a time.
that's pretty cool. Yeah, it reminded me of the noise that when you're going through like a fun house at the fair and you like they try to scare you, or like a haunted house where they use air to scare you. It was like
Yeah.
Hey, Farrag
that's what it
mentions
reminded me of.
Brian. He says next time, he says you need to have Mo announce when you're going up. He was across the airfield and saw it from a distance. Video looks awesome though. So it'd be kind of cool. Again, it's another little feature that's a little
Yeah.
different, and kind of unique. So next time, I think it'd be good to kind of announce it or something. Do
I,
a
I, I,
flyby or something.
yeah, I talked to Mo quite a few times about this. We were both in contact, and I had a radio where I was going to try and tell him when I was ready to go. And just between all the chaos and having radio troubles, our communications didn't work out. So I got to a point where I just got anxious, and I was like, I'm firing it. I'm just going.
Yeah, yeah, that's how I do it. Well, we're gonna go to the after show, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and make sure you go to paraglidingtalk.com, support the show on Patreon and PayPal, keep the show going. We always have a great time every week. Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Subscribe if you haven't done that, and follow the show on the website, paraglidingtalk.com. If I don't see you on the air, I'll see you in there. Have a great